Hello, so I'm Ribas and I am a cyborg artist. I define myself as a cyborg because I unite the technology in order to extend my senses. I'm also a choreographer and a movement researcher, and I knew that apart from creating movement with my own body, if I unite myself with technology, I could find movements somewhere else, movement that not only humans produce, but maybe other species or other elements produce. Since 2013, my main project has been the Seismic Sense. So I had some implants in my body that were connected in my feet actually, that were connected to online seismographs. And whenever there was some seismic activity in the planet, I would feel a vibration inside my body. And depending of the intensity of the earthquake, the vibration I would feel would be stronger or less strong. So why I ended up perceiving earthquakes, it's because I had several projects of before of perceiving movement that I had in front, movement that I had behind, but I want to perceive a more universal movement. And I had this image in my head that I thought, if I would be alone in the planet, how could I perceive movement? And then I realized that actually the Earth is constantly moving, not only rotates by itself or around the sun, but it shakes constantly through earthquakes. And I thought it would be amazing, it really fulfilled me, this thought of being connected to this huge and natural movement, and actually most of the time imperceptible. And this is when I created the Seismic Sense. So through these implants, I could perceive the real seismic activity of the planet in real time. And of course, at the beginning, I had to get used to feeling all these vibrations constantly. I mean, I'm from Barcelona, and my connection with earthquakes, it was something that it happened far away. No, I didn't realize that actually our planet is so alive and it moves so much. So at the beginning, with all these vibrations, I was always very distracted. When there was a big earthquake, I thought something bad would happen, so I had to get used to having this new input constantly. At the end, I got used to it. For example, when I was sleeping, I would wake up more often because I would feel these vibrations. I have to say that I sleep usually quite easily, so I got used to feeling these vibrations quite easily. So after a while, it really became like a new sense, that I added a new sense in my body. And a way that I have to describe it is like I felt like I added a new beat inside my body. We have the heartbeat, and I also had the earth beat, having its own rhythm inside me. And the extension of new senses, I consider this cyborg art. So for me, cyborg art is the design of your own perception of reality by creating new senses and new organs. So there are many things that happen around us that we don't perceive because our natural senses are limited. But if you unite yourself with technology, maybe you are able to perceive these more imperceptible things around us. And I see this as cyborg art. So for me, the seismic sense is my artwork. The thing with cyborg art is that it's quite individualistic because actually it's an artwork that happens inside the artist. So in a way, I'm the only one in the audience perceiving this art. So in order to share what I feel, I use different mediums. One of them is with performances. I have a dance performance that it's a durational one, so it can last 10 minutes or it can last hours. And it's a bit like a duet between the earth and myself, because I stand still. I usually do it in museums, and whenever there's an earthquake, I move according to the intensity of the earthquake. So in a way, earth is the choreographer of the piece, and I'm just the interpreter. So it's an invitation to the audience just to listen to the earth for some time. And if there are no earthquakes during the performance, there will be no dance. Usually festivals are very worried about this, but there's usually always some seismic activity goes because the earth keeps moving a lot, and it shows us how alive it is. And it's also a living organism that keeps transforming. Another way that I have to share this feeling is through percussion, with seismic percussion. So the rhythm and the intensity of the piece is based on the rhythm and the movement of the tectonic plates. And I also create seismic scores based on the, I research all the seismic activity that happened in a specific place. For example, the first one I did was in Mexico, and I researched all the earthquakes that happened in the last 50 years of Mexico, and I went to play there in front of Mexicans in Mexico, so they could hear how the country had been moving seismically to the rhythm and the intensity of the percussion. And in that case, Earth is the composer of the piece. Last year I had a new aim. It was to bring nature into a stage piece. I wanted to use some natural phenomena as an interpreter also. Not just myself and some colleagues dancing, but also I wanted nature to fill up the stage somehow. And we ended up doing a piece with the temperature, and we used ice. We were dancing with ice and water in all its states, solid, liquid and gas. And this is some trailer. And also in 2010 I co-founded the Cyber Foundation with actually my childhood friend Neil Harbison, and basically we founded with three aims. One was to help humans to become cyborgs, the other one was to promote cyborg art as an artistic movement, and the other one was to defend cyborg rights, the right of having the freedom of designing yourself and deciding what organs and senses do you want to have. Since it was coined this word, it has been used in many different ways. For us, being a cyborg, it's an identity. And there's so many ways that you can feel a cyborg, and there's so many ways that you can unite an organism and cybernetics. Maybe one could be a psychological cyborg, because you have a psychological union with cybernetics. Maybe one could be a biological cyborg, a neurological cyborg, even a phantom cyborg. I've been sometime, because some years ago I removed the implants. About 2 years ago I removed the implants of my body, and actually I had this phantom effect. For some months I could still feel the vibrations of the earth inside me, even if I didn't have the implants. So for a while I felt like I was like a phantom cyborg. I have a new project now. I'm actually pregnant, 7 months pregnant. That's why I cannot be also in person in this TED, because I'm not able to fly anymore. So my partner and I have designed a new sense that we call the pregnancy sense. So I have a type of belt around my belly that has an ultrasound, and it's connected to an interface that transforms this sound into a microphone, and it's connected to a phone. My partner wears bone head conducted headphones, and it also connects to a phone, and he's able to call our baby. So he can hear the heartbeat of our baby and the liquids of the amniotic sac. So in a way he's digitally pregnant and I am biologically pregnant, because he is in a way connected all the time with how the baby is growing. And to transform this, also we do what we call cyborg family concerts, where we use our baby a bit like as a DJ, because we put the sounds that he's producing into loudspeakers and we mix it with our heartbeats and our sounds, and after a while we transform the sound, and we also use our bodies, because I'm a dancer and he's a circus artist, so we do this type of concert that we usually use the body. And we don't have that many gigs, because it's actually, we have a soon deadline, but yeah, soon in some ways we're gonna have the last one. And just when actually, now that I identify as a cyborg, I don't feel closer to robots, to machines. Actually we feel closer to nature, because I can feel how alive it is, and also to other species, to other animals. We think that sometimes what it feels that it's very unnatural, it can be actually very natural. Like if we have a look at other species and all the senses that other animals have, we can get very inspired. For example, some animals can already perceive ultraviolet, infrared, ultrasound, they can create light by themselves. Even immortality already exists because there's a jellyfish that never dies and keeps regenerating. So we can get inspired how other species perceive and interact with our own planet. And we call this revealed reality. We don't think that we do virtual reality or augmented reality. We think it's like a revealed reality because there's a reality that exists but we cannot perceive. But if creating new senses is like revealing what we have around us. And just to end, like, I think humans have been changing the environment for many years in order to live more comfortable, but maybe we have arrived in a time where we should modify ourselves in order to understand better how our planet is and adapting to it in a better way, maybe like other animals have done. Thank you very much.